Good morning. This morning I'm going to cover the XOS1511 exam paper from January-February 2016, question number 4. In this question it's saying, in this question you have to write a complete function. Suppose marks have been given to 30 students and the marks are stored in an int array called marks. Okay? You have to write a void function. There they're mentioning it's a void function. So as you can see, I've started a void called find, fail, and distinct. I don't know why I keep on putting distinct. Sorry. Yeah. So there we go. Void called find, fail, and distinct. Okay. Okay. So there I've got it here. To determine the number of students who failed, okay, thus got a mark of less than 50, and the number of students who got a distinction, thus a mark of at least 75. These two values should be returned to the main function. So what I've opted to do is, I've opted to use them as reference parameter functions. Because returning two values, and generally when you want to return two values, it's a bit more, I haven't ever seen a return be able to return two values without actually using a reference parameter. So that's why I'm using a reference parameter. Okay, so it says here, assume the following: a declaration of the global constant, const int num marks equals 30, number of marks. So there's my global declaration. As you can see, it's outside of the main. It's so that you can use it in either this function call over here, or you can use it in the main. Okay. So they've mentioned global, and that's why I've put it as a global. It says the two declaration statements in the main function. So there I've added these two declaration statements in the main function. Okay. And then it says values have been assigned already to all the elements of the array. Okay, so they're saying everything is assigned. You've got your array, you've got your number, your marks, and yeah. So there's 30 marks in the system. Okay, the function is called in the main function as follows. Okay, they're saying that it should work with this with just what they've used over here. It says write only the complete function find, fail, and distinct. Okay, I battled to get it to work with the way that they've declared it, simply because you've got an array called marks, and you can't just find marks without knowing which element you're calling from an array. So as you know, I don't enjoy just writing code. I want to be able to see that it functions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this num marks to only 5, because I don't want to enter 30 people. All right. Over here, what I've done is I've added these extra lines. This is the main function that you need for the exam. Okay. What it's doing is it's saying that if the marks are less than 50, then the fail must increment by 1. Else, if the marks are greater than or equal to 75, because they said here that the number of students who got a distinction, thus a mark of at least. So when you see at least, you know it means greater than or equals to. Alright, and they've said plus a mark less than. So there they've said less than 50, and that's why I've used the less than sign. Okay, so if they get less than 50, then the fail is incremented, and if they get the marks, then the distinct is incremented. Okay, alright, so now I cannot specify that the fail and the distinct is set to 0 over here, because we actually are saying that we're passing the value and we're retrieving the value. Okay, so I've had to specify that it must make sure fail is set to 0 initially when we execute our program, and then what I've done is I've said cout enter the marks of 30 students. I'm going to change this to 5 because I don't want to enter 30 people. Okay. Then from here I've said it must look at the it must start counting the number of marks, and then it must get the array of marks, okay, and add each mark to an array. Okay. Then for here what I've done is I've said to it, for each of the numbers, for each of the marks that are in the array, please call our function over here. Okay, so that's why I've tested it. It works. I don't want to go through 30, but I think 5 should be sufficient enough to show you how that it's working. So here we go. Enter the marks of 5 students. Okay, so we're saying we want less than 50, so we can see how many fails we get. So we've got 1 at 40. All right. Then we're saying we want a 75 because we want to know that there's somebody that's that has incremented or met the distinction mark. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll make 30 for another failed person, and then so each one, you must remember, each one has its own record. So now we're saying this is record 1, record 2, record 3. Let's try yeah, we're gonna put another fail. We're gonna make it 45. Okay, we just didn't make the grade. Then we want another pass, so let's try and go for a 90. Okay, so as you can see, it's looping through the array, and the first one, the first mark represents that it's a fail. Okay, and there's obviously no distinctions yet. The second mark, there's 1 fail and 1 pass, and that's what it's showing here. The third one shows that, hey, guess what, we've got 2 fails and 1 person that's got a distinction. Then the next one is we've got 3 fails and only 1 distinction. And then the final one says, hey, guess what, we got another distinction added. So there's the 3 and then the 2. So I hope that this has helped you, and yeah, for me it was a nice, comfortable challenge. I'm not very good with arrays, but this has shown me some stuff. Yeah, all the best for the exam. Thank you for watching.